Okay, friends, welcome. Today I'm going to answer a few questions that have been presented to me. How do I set up my camera on aperture priority mode or shutter speed or manual? So I'm going to show you. Let's zoom in. Right here on the dial, I'm currently on M, which is manual mode. This is a Canon 6D, and AV mode is aperture priority mode. TV mode is shutter speed priority mode. I have a little button that I press down in order to make this wheel spin, and then I can change my mode. And you can see right here, my settings are going to change. So it wants to adjust my shutter speed. Now, if I want to change my shutter speed, I can move my wheel to the left, and it's going to get slower. If I move it to the right, it's going to get faster. Now, if I want to adjust my ISO, I just hit this button here, ISO, and then I can increase or decrease my ISO. Again, you're going to want your ISO as low as possible. Now, if I go on aperture priority mode, my aperture priority mode all the way to the right, my lowest aperture is 4.0. Now, if I move the dial, the highest would be 22. This is going to give me a very broad depth of field where most of what I'm taking a picture of will be in focus. And then again, you can adjust your ISO here. Now, a couple things I want to show you is how to use selective focus. Hit my selective focus button. It brings up my red dot, and then I can use the wheel to select a different focus point. And if I want to go to the top ones, then I just use these guys right here, my little arrow up and down. Once I have my selective focus, I can either half press my shutter release trigger, or I can just hit my selective focus button. Now, AI Servo. If I hit AF here, this is for autofocus, and I turn my wheel, and you can see here, one shot, AI focus, and AI servo. Now, AI servo is where it's going to continually focus as long as I stay half pressed on my trigger. Wherever my focus point is, it will continue to focus wherever that is. If I'm taking a portrait, I always put it on the eye of the person I'm taking a photo of. Okay, next would be drive mode. Now, I always leave mine on continuous. That's the little boxes coming down, which means if I hold my trigger down, it will continue to take photos over and over again until I release the trigger. Now, there's a lot of other settings that we can go over, but for now, let's just stick with that with the basics. A lot of the basic DSLRs come with some built-in programmable settings that are for portraits, landscape, night photos. Those settings will be built in, but I really want you to get in a habit of making the decision. Do I want a shallow depth of field and use aperture priority mode? Do I want to use the shutter speed because whatever I'm taking a picture of is moving really quickly? Or do I want to allow for motion blur? Or do you want to set all the settings using manual mode? Now, automatically in manual mode, you can see my shutter is the one that's moving with the wheel. Now, if I want to adjust that and I want to change my aperture, you hold this star and it will allow you to change the aperture. And then again, ISO is still this button here. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments so I can address them and create videos to meet your needs. Again, be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the upcoming lessons as we dive deeper into photography. I would love to see your exercises and how this is all working out for you. Be sure to tag me at capture.create.explore on Instagram. Use hashtag CCE Workshop. Thanks, friends. Have a great day.